From Linda's outbursts
My family is the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us.
to Brooke's revelations.
Our family's been through a lot of crap, and I will say, my dad.
Hulk Hogan's family has always been torn apart, but who is really to blame? According to Brooke, it is Vince McMahon. She recently made some explosive claims in court, and what she revealed might be enough to destroy Vince McMahon's legacy for good. Let me explain the breaking point.
Be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan, and what it entailed, what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He's a stepdad. You face out there and know that all these horrible things are about God.
For years, wrestling fans saw what looked like the perfect father and daughter relationship through the lens of reality television. The show Hogan Knows Best portrayed a close and loving family with Hulk Hogan as the overprotective father to his daughter Brooke and his son Nick. But away from the cameras, a very different story was taking place. It was a story filled with abuse, manipulation, and betrayal that would eventually tear this well-known family apart. The facade began to crumble when Hulk Hogan passed away on July 24, 2025 at the age of 71 due to cardiac arrest. What should have been a time of mourning and family unity instead became the moment when the darkest secrets of the Hogan family came to light. Brooke Hogan, aged 37, had already asked to be removed from his will in 2023. This decision shocked the wrestling world and led many to wonder what could have driven a daughter to such desperate action. The reasons behind her choice were not immediately clear, but people close to the family began to describe a story far more troubling than anyone had imagined. Reports from TMZ and Daily Mail suggested that Brooke's decision was not motivated by hatred, but by a deep lack of trust in her father's inner circle. She believed that certain people were taking advantage of Hulk Hogan, and she wanted to avoid being caught in financial disputes after his death. Yet the story went far beyond money. In a stunning revelation that shook the wrestling community, Brooke claimed she had suffered years of severe verbal and mental abuse from both her father Hulk Hogan and her mother Linda Hogan, beginning in childhood and sometimes turning physical. This was not ordinary family conflict, but long-term abuse hidden behind the image of wrestling royalty for decades.
Our family's been through a lot of crap, and I would say my dad, despite, it's hard to, have all your skeletons, pulled out of your closet and waved in front of everybody's face and humiliated in the world.
Stories of abuse and exploitation have long surrounded the wrestling industry, but when they involve one of its biggest stars and his own family, the impact becomes overwhelming. Brooke Hogan shared that she had separate reasons for cutting contact with each of her parents, showing that the abuse was not limited to one side, but affected the entire family. The timeline of this family's downfall is both painful and revealing. By 2023, she was estranged and chose not to attend her father's wedding, later explaining on Instagram that she needed distance for her own healing and peace. This was not a brief disagreement or a temporary separation, but a permanent decision made despite the public scrutiny and emotional cost it would bring. The tragedy deepened after Hulk Hogan's death in 2025, when Brooke acknowledged their bond, but explained that she had stepped away during the final 2 years of his life. Her message showed that even after all she endured, she still felt compelled to recognize her father's passing while keeping the boundaries she had created for her protection. The financial side of her decision also drew attention. Although Brooke requested to be removed from Hulk Hogan's estate, valued at about $25 million, she is still expected to receive a small amount from a life insurance trust. This arrangement suggests that her choice was not made out of rejection, but out of a desire to avoid conflict and shield herself from what she viewed as a harmful environment. Perhaps the most revealing part of this story is what it exposes about the wrestling industry itself. For decades, fans saw Hulk Hogan as the symbol of the ideal family man, the all-American hero who stood for honor and loyalty. His television shows, public appearances, and carefully built image were based on a foundation that was secretly falling apart behind closed doors.
In general, I think when you're in the position that we're in, it happens. It still happens. People think that it's something else, and that's the thing that I think is so misconstrued or misunderstood about fame, right? Is that they think immediately if you're famous, you must be rich, or immediately if you're a daughter of somebody that you just happen to be, or if you have all these cars and houses, that's just, it must be nice. I'm like, hey, I can't help that my parents picked that, but all I remember is it was a pain in the butt to upkeep, and I would never.
The wrestling world has always been built on the line between reality and fiction, but when that line is used to hide real abuse and family collapse, it raises serious questions about the industry's duty to protect not only its performers but their families as well. Brooke Hogan's statements about abuse and her focus on protecting her well-being suggest that these experiences were part of a deeper pattern that led to the family separation. As we look further into this story, we will explore how the pressures of the wrestling business, especially under Vince McMahon's WWE empire, may have played a role in tearing this family apart. We will review the events and scandals that created distance between father and daughter and uncover the truth about how some of the biggest names in wrestling may have failed to protect one of their OWN. To understand the full extent of this tragedy, we must look at how Hulk Hogan's wrestling career, particularly under McMahon's influence, built an environment that made stable family relationships almost impossible. His career involved constant travel and non-stop public attention, which placed heavy strain on his personal life. Yet it was not only the travel that caused damage, but the entire culture and mindset that the wrestling world demanded.
For you growing up having such a famous father.
You know what's crazy? He did a really good job not letting us feel like that was, like, that it wasn't like the reality that we had that, oh my god, we did the same.
The first major warning sign appeared during the family's reality show Hogan Knows Best, which was meant to highlight their perfect family life, but instead revealed serious problems beneath the surface. Hulk Hogan's overprotective behavior included actions such as placing a GPS tracker on Brooke's car, which created growing tension between them. This was not normal parental concern, but controlling behavior that reflected the fear and pressure created by wrestling fame. The real damage began when Vince McMahon and WWE brought Brooke into their programming. In 2006, she made her WWE debut on Saturday Night's Main Event Episode 3, where she accompanied her father to the ring. During the show, Randy Orton flirted with her, leading to a match between Orton and Hogan at SummerSlam. This storyline, in which a teenage girl was used as part of a romantic angle for adult male wrestlers, raised serious concerns about WWE's creative decisions and Vince McMahon's oversight. By placing Brooke in a public storyline that blurred personal and professional boundaries, the company exposed her to unnecessary discomfort and turned a family relationship into a spectacle for entertainment. This choice revealed how far the wrestling industry was willing to go in using real family dynamics to boost ratings. The pressure on Hulk Hogan to maintain his career while handling his private struggles created the perfect storm for family breakdown. His involvement in McMahon's 1994 steroid trial, where he admitted to using steroids since 1976 but cleared McMahon of wrongdoing, may have added further strain. The legal and professional pressures within McMahon's empire did not only shape Hogan's public image, but also deeply affected his family and his relationship with Brooke.
And how many surgeries he's had in the last 10 years, and I think we're at 25.
Yeah.
So he's had both shoulders scoped, and he had his whole bicep and his first sack and everything tied up in his shoulder like last year. That was a disaster. He got MRSA, and it was like a big thing, so we had to go back and do tons of therapy. He's had both of his knees replaced multiple times, I think twice on both. He's had his hips done, he's had elbow scoped, he had so many.
The physical strain of wrestling under Vince McMahon's demanding schedule added even more stress to Hulk Hogan's family life. Over the last 10 years, he has undergone 25 surgeries, including operations on his shoulders, knees, hips, and back. This extreme level of physical damage was not just the result of entertainment, but a reflection of a business model that consumed its performers and left their families to deal with the emotional and practical consequences. Perhaps the most damaging part of the relationship between McMahon and Hogan was how Hogan's personal scandals were handled. In 2015, the world learned about racist remarks Hogan had made concerning Brooke's dating life, and WWE, under McMahon's leadership, reacted immediately by ending his contract and removing all references to him from company platforms and merchandise stores. The scandal deeply affected Brooke since her father's comments directly targeted her personal relationships. The leaked audio revealed Hogan expressing discomfort about her dating a black man and making remarks that were both racist and deeply personal. These comments were not just offensive but public attacks on his own daughter's independence and choices, and they played out in front of the entire world, destroying his career. While WWE's decision to cut ties with Hogan may have been made to protect the company's image, Brooke might have seen it as lacking empathy for what her family was going through. The incident and its aftermath showed how the pressures of fame and corporate image management could magnify private pain and turn personal failures into public scandals. Together, the physical demands of wrestling and the fallout from Hogan's controversies created lasting emotional damage for both him and his family. At first, Brooke defended her father during the racial scandal in 2015, even sharing a poem to insist that he was not racist. But as the years passed, the constant public embarrassment and personal betrayals began to take their toll. Eventually, she chose to distance herself, choosing not to attend his 2023 wedding and later explaining on Instagram that she needed space for her own healing and peace. The pattern that emerges is unmistakable. Vince McMahon's WWE built a culture that valued entertainment over the well-being of its people. The need to maintain Hulk Hogan's character, the pressure to create controversial storylines, and the company's quick rejection when those storylines caused backlash all played a part in the gradual destruction of the Hogan family. McMahon's partnership with Hogan was built on professional ambition. McMahon transformed wrestling into mainstream entertainment, while Hogan became the global face of that success. Yet the same fame that made him a superstar also came with heavy personal costs. The endless travel appearances and media expectations strained his relationships and left deep emotional scars on his family. The triumph that defined Hulk Hogan's career ultimately came at the expense of the people close.
Everybody's like, oh, Brooke stands by her dad, this and that. It's like, first of all, that's who I am. I'm loyal. Like, if you're honest with me, it doesn't matter. I will love you. I'll stand up for you till the end. I think that people can have different opinions, right? Like, I'm not